how does the IMF run? I don't know, you know, we always keep talking about it, but I don't know how it's run, by whom or where, or how come.
Well, right now it doesn't. That's the crucial thing. The crucial thing is that this thing has come up to a real dead end. The IMF was set up at the end of World War II as a way of, as part of the whole system, the Bretton Woods system, of having a coordinated world financial system under British control, or British and Wall Street control, but Britain controlling Wall Street. And it's come to the point where the IMF represents a lot of bankruptcy. It represents a lot of banks that have assets that are very bad, a lot of them paper assets, real estate assets and so forth, third world debts and so forth. They can't collect the money to make good on that because their whole philosophy has been speculative and not building up the power to produce. They've run into a dead end. What the IMF does in each country is to go to a national government on behalf, they represent all the big bankers, private bankers. This is a world, sort of a world banking authority. Well, it's actually headquartered in Washington, D.C. Isn't that disgusting? All right? But it doesn't represent our country. They go to each nation and they will tell the national government, you better make a deal with us to cut out 50% of your education budget, to another deal to turn over most of your national industry to a private owner who's a foreign owner, to sell your crops on the market and stop getting into most of the kinds of businesses that you do. And for extra persuasion for this program, there'll be somebody from the Anti-Defamation League there to carry on a political campaign against the government or something like that. They may overthrow a government or assassinate somebody. And increasingly, the problem they run into is that the results of this kind of extortion campaign are so tragic, so obviously tragic and dangerous, that even the most ordinary establishment types, members of establishment organizations, you know, Bill Clinton is in the Trilateral Commission. Right, all you conspiracy theorists, right? But people can see this is leading to annihilation. The IMF is supposed to be representing responsible world finance. And you have editorials will appear in the Los Angeles Times criticizing somebody for daring to suggest, this is before Clinton, for daring to suggest that somebody should go against the IMF. Or go against the Federal Reserve or something like that. But mainly you're talking about the world system of the IMF. All right? So, now, you have ordinary people seeing what they've done in Russia. Imagine the IMF going to Russia and telling them, you have to be poor, you have to be desperate, you have to sell half your country to gangsters, literally to gangsters. The IMF tells them that. They have experts coming there and telling them that. And Russia has H-bombs with missiles pointed at our country right now. They're poor because under communism, they went into this crazy program of a military build-up without the most advanced science. If they'd taken LaRouche's deal, they would have had a joint operation with the United States. Could have solved this problem. So they went bankrupt. Their country is desperately poor. The IMF comes in. They still have H-bombs. They still have an army. That's about all they have. They put all their eggs in the military basket. So the IMF goes there. And they get Jeffrey Sachs from Harvard and George Soros and other speculators and scum goes over there with the IMF bankers. And they say, welcome to the West. Now you've overthrown communism. Now we're really going to get you. You got to give us everything you have and die of hunger.
Wait a minute, the IMF is really trying to collect debt, are they not?
They're not. That's not a good way to do it. They're trying to, but they're not going to succeed that way.
That's their only reason for being there.
Not really. I don't think that. Well, that's a format. It's a logic, but it's clearly not logical because to collect debt you have to make an investment. You have to, for example, if you're in the mafia and you loan somebody $5 and expect to get $1,000 repayment, you might get it, but you can't do that for a whole country. If you're in business and you want to collect debts over a period of time, you need to invest in something where people can produce
in the past,
a profit.
IMF has made a lot of loans to Russia, to China, and to South American countries.
How big?
Which country have they loaned money to develop the country?
I don't know what it was for.
Now,
Maybe
see,
Mexico's debt was sold to the IMF. I don't know, but their Mexican bank debt, we used to be about $85 billion when they defaulted in August '82.
okay, now here's the crucial thing. This may seem like a slight difference to you, but this is the crucial thing. And this is what I was getting at with Hamilton. It's different from the British system. Your country has sovereignty. Your nation has a sovereign power based on the people, right? The people constitute themselves the nation. The nation, hopefully an elected government of responsible leaders, has a certain kind of sovereignty. This sovereignty has a crucial decision to make. That decision is, what shall we do with the credit power of our country, of our sovereign nation? Because that decision decides almost everything. You could go two directions. You could either use your credit power, as it should be used, as a power to hire people to work productively, so that they can do agriculture and industry and inventions and science, and teach children to be scientific and inventive, to be geniuses, hopefully, a lot of them. That's what you use credit for. Or you say that credit is there for those who are powerful to use as they desire. And those who have a power that is apart from that type of national sovereignty idea and development idea are of necessity gangsters. So there are really two systems of credit. The system of national sovereignty and development, or the crime system. So if you say, I don't know what the money was used for in a country, you've missed the crucial distinction, the basic distinction.
Sent back to the United States.
Yeah, they sent the money back to the United States, going through certain corrupt local hands and so forth. But they end up sending the money back to these banks, right, and to criminal circles as well. They also, a lot of it gets into the drug circle, the drug circuit. That's the crucial thing, that distinction on the use of credit. And when Lincoln made greenbacks and credit available in large quantities, contrary to what is promoted in our Economics 101 courses, they claim that caused inflation. On the contrary, the system of massive credit to set up factories and farms to get people productive, that system is the only way to defeat inflation, because you set up a power, an engine of production, so that every year steel becomes cheaper because you make it better. You have more modern facilities. You know how to do things better. And you charge less for a product of industry because you can make a profit making more of it and making it better. That's how you beat inflation, is by more brains. You don't beat inflation by stopping people from having credit.